by the IBSF.
Ah, die Schikanen war scheiße.
IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Championships, the final day of action in Lake Placid in the Adirondack Mountains in upstate New York. We're ready to go for the fourth and final run of the four-man worlds. 20 sleds go in reverse order. The leader after 3 heats goes last of all. Welcome back, everybody. Martin Haven and Cyrus Gray with the action for you. Our top 3, well, it remains fairly much as it was overnight. Great Britain's Brad Hall had a nice clean run from 3rd place. He was 200ths of a second behind Johannes Lochner after the first day of action. Remains 200ths of a second back. So, Cyrus, the battle is really on for the silver medal.
I mean, yeah, it's the time to give it everything you got. Last run, everything, let it fly.
Absolutely.
You got nothing left to lose, but try and get on the podium, right?
And Hansi Lochner, terrible chicane, but somehow managed to gather the speed up down at the bottom. He remains in silver medal position by a breath, but he is 2900ths behind Francesco Friedrich. Friedrich looking for his 7th four-man world championship title. And he too has not been clean down this track. It's almost impossible to get a clean run. A decent one is okay, but a clean run, that's nirvana.
I mean, Lake Placid, yeah.
Yeah.
Bobsled, no 2 runs are the same, and
yeah,
trying to get a clean one every time.
So Hansi Lochner went from 2900ths behind to 5400ths back. Still that 200ths of a second battle. He and Brad Hall's crews were exactly equal at the start and in the downtime. And the remaining athletes will all go in reverse order. This man will go last of all. Francesco Friedrich, already a 9-time 2-man world champion and a 6-time 4-man world champion, looking for his 7th. Well, there's Johannes Lochner, the 2017 4-man world champion, and Brad Hall, the man who is most likely to challenge for that medal.
Yeah, he looks ready to go for sure.
Definitely does.
Headphones in.
Adam Moore there, closest to the camera. He'll be driving the 3rd German sled. Pat Norton, Taylor Austin and Jay Dearborn representing Canada. So all 3 sleds making it through into the top 20. And Jay, for a rookie driver, hasn't started a World Cup race, straight into the deep end at World Champs. It wasn't an easy run into these racing heats, but he's made it through. And so the Brazilians as well, they had a good 3rd heat. The man on the left, their driver, not their coach.
Not their coach, yeah. I mean, he acts like he's the coach, but
well,
I feel like he carries the team, right?
He is too, but yeah. Edson Bidolatti, yeah, he'll go off in 8th place, as they were 13th after the first heat. So Jay Dearborn, Jeff Gabwa, Mate Bohenek will be the first 3 off. Then Pat Norton goes off 5th for Canada, Edson 8th for Brazil, and into the top 10 with Patrick Baumgartner, Timo Rona. Close little battles there. Kim Jin-soo lost out in the 3rd heat, so Mickey Vogt of Switzerland moves up, and then we have 2 Americans chasing for top 6 places.
I mean, this is the run to do it on. If you haven't done it yet, this is the time to do it. So
all or nothing now. Final heat of the 4-man bobsleigh world championships from Lake Placid. Jay Dearborn, Kenny Lucacium Pindu, Cesar de Guzman and Toby Ade, the crew. Started 5:23 first heat, 5:21 in the second. This time Jay gets in without getting hooked up on the sled, 5:23.
Yeah, it's nice to see them getting a fourth run in their first world champs.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is all about building confidence and learning what those big events are like with cameras, lights, noisy crowds. The track is the same as you would see in a normal North America's Cup race, but the paraphernalia around definitely it feels very different.
More, exactly, yeah.
Lots more sleds.
Lots more
big
people
names
to watch as well.
Yeah, exactly so. And a great learning opportunity, not just for the competition, but also to see what others do.
Yeah, I mean, like you watch and get experience for sure. Learn from the best. And then we have some good coaches, like Cripps and Linden as well, yeah, right? So
absolutely. 55.94 first heat, 56.70 second, 57.02 third. So it looks like the track may not be quite as fast as it was after the cooler overnight conditions. Sun is just about coming up over the trees now. It's a little slothful at 10 to 10 here, Eastern summertime, but he gets it down nice and clean. Again, there's two things really here, Cyrus. Your first World Championships, qualify for the fourth heat, learn as much as you can, build your confidence and your knowledge.
I mean, it's a big field, lots of guys with lots of experience, and as a first, second-year driver, doing your best to try and qualify for that fourth heat.
Yeah, getting in amongst them, friends and family there, lots of them here. And the Canadians move into the leaders box. Next up for the USA, Jeff Gabwa. He's got two rookies on the sled, Colin Storms and Dylan Gilbert, and Adrian Adams at 3. His 95th four-man bobsleigh race. 5:24 first push, 5:21 second. They would love to get into the teens for Jeff to try and give him that turbo boost of speed, but he has a big skid out of the grooves, 5:20.
Yeah, must have been something happening over there with the loads.
Well, he just didn't have his hands on the D-rings maybe, but yeah, sled doesn't often skid that dramatically. We had half a second in hand over Jay Dearborn from the first heat. And he knows this track inside out. Jeff's got a fair degree of top-level experience as well, World Cup, World Champs.
Yeah, this is a good trip for Jeff, and this is the way to finish it, my man.
You see the sleds moving around so much on this track. The corners are short, take-ons are pretty brutal.
Yeah, like you were saying, looking at corner 18 from the outside, it doesn't look like much of a corner.
It just doesn't, but when you see the POV, yeah, you realise actually it's off and on really quick.
Yeah.
56.49, so goodbye to Jay Dearborn of Canada in the leaders box. Jeff Gabwa will take up residence. For how long, we will wait and see. He was 23 hundredths behind Matej Behunek of Czechia, so there is a chance he might move up. Now what happens here? Sled comes out, in fact, even before it's quite out of the drive lines.
Just ran it a little too deep and out of the grooves by the time everyone's sitting down.
Well, everybody in the crew now has entered, competed in and completed their first World Championships. So Colin Storms and Dylan Gilbert at 4, no longer rookies. This crew, well, Matej Behunek, Michal Dobesh, Anthony Vijas and Andre Rupp. They've been in the World Champs before in Europe. It's their first time racing here at this level in North America. Good start, 5:22, 5:20, now 5:17. They know the danger from Gabwa behind them.
Yeah, that's a good way to start.
And clean out of 3 as well. No skid, no tap. And best speed.
That's the 8-9 transition of real top.
Yeah, pretty bruising inside the sled for the brakemen and for the driver. 2600s up at the start, but a big skid through the chicane. What was best speed? They were 2800s up, still in the green. Not much left of that. He might just lose out here. Is Gabwa going to move up a spot? Yes! That was the biggest slide through the chicane we've seen, but well, they came close to wrecking in the third heat. So
yeah, the chicane's a little tough going in there sideways when the rest of the corners are left or uphill.
Yeah,
killing all the speed.
Yeah, Matej disappointed with that. Not been a great day 2 for him.
Yeah, just a 7-8, just kind of dropped out of 7, but
again, that's where he had
managed enough to get the nose down in 8.
He had problems earlier on in the first heat there, or the third heat there. And again, that big skid, it just went on forever, didn't it?
Yeah, just right from the start.
Got sideways down in the compression, and then all the way up the hill, slow sideways.
Yeah, I'm sure as a driver, he just knew that he already lost it.
See the brakeman bending over to recover. So next up, Mihai Tentea for Romania, with Constantin Dinescu, Mihai Pacianu, and Gheorghe Dash. In and down, 5:17. They've given it the big one off the top as well. Well, now, sleds at this stage of the field are upping their speed at the start. I wonder whether the final sled will get the start record that dates back to 2003. Meanwhile, from 6/10 up to 7/10 up and change. Nearly 8/10 up at best speed for Mihai Tentea.
Yeah, this is a solid looking run from Mihai. There you go.
Nails the chicane. Carries that speed. 8,800 up. It's the end of the road in the leader's box for Jeff Carbois. And across the line, Mihai Tentea. 56.15. It was a good run.
Yeah, as a driver finishing your last run of the season, as solid as that one's, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Now let's look ahead of him. Pat Norton of Canada was 1600s in front. On some tracks, that's a big margin. On this track, that's blinking in the wrong place. So he's going to need to be super clean to stay ahead of Tentea. We've got a lot of tight groups coming up. There's Mihai.
Yeah, if anyone can give it their all, it's Pat. He knows there's nothing left to lose, so he's going to try and drive the heck out of this track.
Yeah, Mark Zanet, Johan Esrik Parkinson, and Chris Ashley. So 5:25, 5:24. Can they get into the teams as well? Nice smooth load. Good stuff.
Yeah, I know these guys were wanting a faster start from yesterday, so they seem to accomplish that.
So 1400s up over Mihai Tentea. Down to 800s. Tentea was quicker at this stage. Better speed now, just a whisker quicker than Mihai.
Nice exit out of 10 there.
The key is going to be the chicane. If he comes clean, he'll have the lead. That's pretty decent. Good speed. He's still in the green. It's not going to be much, is it?
No, he's hanging on.
It's not going to be much at all. Across the line by 300ths of a second. Wow. They were 1,300 slower than the Romanians on that run, but it's not a one-heat race. It's about the total time, and they have the lead by 300ths of a second. One is enough. 3, yeah, just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice exit out of 10. Open layer into 11, but that's okay. He seemed to get a handle on that. Nice through the chicane.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have rather didn't take that tap, but could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. If he'd had the skid, he would have dropped back. 300s is absolutely nothing. Now for Latvia, Jēkabs Kalenda dropped from 10th to 15th in Heat 3. Has got to turn that around. Gaining 5 places, much harder than losing 5 places, though. If you have a bit of a shocker, and he did, then you hemorrhage time.
Yeah, I'm sure he did some film at the break there, trying to better this run.
Yeah. Arnis Bebris, Mats Miknes, and Maris Klava on the sled. And again, final competitive run of the season. He will want this to be a good one. 5:13. They did an 11 and a 12 in the first 2 heats. 1,300s ahead of Pat Norton. This could be very close as well.
It is a solid run than the first one so far.
Ooh, nudged away, but gets it back in time. Second best speed. Norton was quicker. Gap will come back down from 22.
It looks like he missed a little bit of 13 there, but
only the 3rd best speed. The gap has halved. 1,300s remain. 500s in hand. Pat Norton was fastest at the bottom by a margin. Behind, dead heat! Dead is the first of the final run. So he'll be no worse than 15th, and the Latvians will join the Canadians in the leaders box.
Yeah, that was definitely a much better run.
It was a much better run. Still not as tidy as he would have liked. A lot of the younger European drivers, and he's one of them, haven't got a lot of mileage on this track. It was on the World Cup at the end of last year and beginning of the year before.
Yeah, and this is a very difficult track too, and you don't have a lot of runs. It's tough to make it down smooth or make it down fast.
It's like when the US and Canadians come to Europe and they've got to take on tracks like Altenburg.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Hard driving tracks. So, a dead heat for the lead as we get to Cedric Follador, Nicola Mariani, Omar Fergler and Quentin Gillard for Switzerland. 2 5.16s and a 5.17. $1400s in front of calendar after the first two heats, heat 3.
Dropped out of 7 there.
It doesn't look dramatic, but he is falling late off a lot of these corners, and that takes energy out of the sled as well. Only the 6th best speed, 600s back. This is going to be close, isn't it?
It's going to always just gain a little bit of time, but
across the line in the green by 1300. Jacob's calendar hasn't even taken his helmet off. He was watching what was going on. Well, calendar came down 56.35, Follador 56.36, so he survived on his previous advantage. If it had been
coming out of 10, just staying on that left side. Just kind of slid off of exit 12 there, but it seemed like you were deliberately going for that tap in the chicane.
Well, if this was a one-heat race, the leader would be Mihai Tentia, 56.15, from Pat Norton, 56.28. But it isn't, so they're not. However, our leaders are currently the Swiss team of Cedric Follador now, Edson Bindilati with Edson Martins, Rafael Souza da Silva and Eric Gilson Viara Geronimo on the back of the sled. Bindilati just turned 46 during training, 5.10 the getaway. What a good start again from the Brazilians. 5.17, 5.13, 5.10.
Keeps getting faster, but a drift, some real weird into 4, but
only 500s ahead of Follador after heat 3, so this is going to be very close indeed. He's lost his advantage back down to 500s despite the faster start. Well, Edson knows the track well. He's got a couple of decades of driving experience now. Here you go.
Yeah, the bottom is looking real nice. Nice and catty.
He is just a 6'2" ball of enthusiasm, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
2300s up, driving away. A fantastic final run, 56.14. So quickest of the heat so far for Edson Bindilati. 45 years old in the 2-man, 46 years old in the 4-man. He'll be knocking on the door of 47 in the Winter Olympics and still living the dream.
Yeah, I think he drifted away from that tap out of 3.
Well, this could be interesting because he wasn't too far behind the next sled. Look at him. Absolutely fired up for this.
I think they've won world champs.
Do you know, absolutely. I didn't look at what his previous best was, but I'm going to do that now. I think that might be his best world championship result so far. Meanwhile, let's get back to the action with China's Sun Kai-chi, Ding Song Ye-Ji-Long and Chen Heng. They remain in the race. Teammate Li Chunjian crashed out in Heat 3.
Yeah, 5.16 start. A little bit slower than their last one, but trying to make up some time here in the track. Yeah, it seemed like him and his team had the same line out of 5 there, but he has a better control on it than his teammate did.
They started 10 and 9 in the first 2 heats. They started 5.16 in this one. Keeps it neat and tidy, clean through the chicane, still in the green over the Brazilians. He's sort of holding that 15 hundredths of a second lead. That should be enough. Across the line in the green by 15 hundredths, 56.19 down time. So the Brazilians were a whisker quicker with a 56.14. Again, if this was a one-heat race, Brazil would be leading from Romania. That would be the 3rd fastest run for Sun. That actually looked like his best run of the 3 that we've seen. Well, in fact, we've seen 4, but the 3 that have counted. Not quite as quick because the ice isn't quite as quick, but it did look smooth. Sun Kai-chi there. Yannis Minen's the coach. Lyndon Rush helping at the front of the sled. Justin Cripps at the back. The coaches for Canada's Taylor Austin with Mike Eveling, Keaton Brugling and Shaq Murray-Lawrence. Lots of speed and experience in this sled.
Yeah, it's going to be one in the push pass and look for a nice drive from Taylor here to try and move up a couple spots.
They had a 9 and 11 and right in the middle of 5.10. 3 pushes, Cyrus, within 200ths of each other. That's pretty impressive stuff.
That is very good.
Whip tap against the wall heading down towards 4. Didn't have a skid, so has good momentum still.
Yeah, definitely. I believe Taylor knows this is the last one, so he's got to give it everything he's got.
Top speed for Taylor Austin, 2/10 up on Sun Kai-chi. He's only 12 hundredths away from a top 10 finish.
Yeah, this is a solid run from Taylor. Let's go, keep it clean through the chicane.
Yeah, not bad at all. He's letting it fly. Top speed again, 32 hundredths up on Sun Kai-chi. It's a big run from Taylor Austin. If this is not top 10, then Patrick Baumgartner, the next sled, will really have responded. 55.71. Just 700 slower than his 3rd heat. That's very impressive from Taylor Austin. There's a Bobsleigh expression that we can't quite repeat on air. Let it fly is exactly what he did.
That's right. And he knew he needed to, so.
So it just gave me a very scared look across the booth in case I came out with it. But he did. I mean, that's, yeah. And when you know that the reward is higher than the risk potentially, then you can really let it go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the last run of World Champs. You got nothing left to lose. So.
Exactly.
Like you said, let it fly. 10
down, 10 to go. Taylor Austin leads, and that puts the pressure on Italy's Patrick Baumgartner, youth Olympic champion 2012, and Patrick Baumgartner with Eric Fantazzini, Robert Masia, and Lorenzo Bellotti behind him. This year has been a standout season for Baumgartner. Next year, of course, the Olympics at home in Italy, in Cortina.
Yeah, I'm sure these guys will be real excited for these games.
5.13, they lose some of their advantage over Taylor Austin at the start. It is down to 500ths of a second. This is a one-shot run for Austin and Baumgartner for that top 10 finish.
Yeah, they're sitting tied right now.
4th best speed, nothing in it.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid run from Taylor, so he's going to have to top that, or...
Yeah, he's not going to, is he? Taylor Austin was right up top speed coming down into the chicane. And Baumgartner is losing ground. Now, he's not going to drop a long way back. Only the 3rd best speed, but Taylor Austin is going to stay in the leader's box in the sunshine in Lake Placid. And Patrick Baumgartner is going to slip one on the final run of the season. 56.30. The Canadians looking happy with that.
Yeah, I'm sure Taylor was expecting to finish a little bit higher, but top 10 in world champs is not too bad.
Yep. Patrick Baumgartner and his crew, well, 5:13. They started 13 in the first heat and 09 in heat 3 this morning. Didn't quite find that pace. And Baumgartner couldn't quite hang on in the top 10. Well, it's not guaranteed that he won't finish in 10th place, but right now he's second with 9 to go. And the 9 in front have been having a bit of a titanic battle. Timo Rona had a really good third heat. 11th fastest in heat 1, 8th fastest run in heat 2 to move up to 9th place. With Dominik Schlepfer, Tim Annen and Mathieu Hersberger. A 5:20 and a 5:19, their pushes. 5:16, fastest of their competition. Well, 5th best start, 3rd best velocity, which speaks well about how they're getting into the sled.
Yeah, you want to try and carry that speed into corner 1 for sure, because everything up top is so quiet, but you lose a lot of time.
Yeah, unfortunately, Timo Rona squandered that speed early on. Only the 10th best speed by corner 5. They've gone from 700s ahead of Taylor Austin to 200s back. Tiniest of taps in the chicane. 1300s back. He doesn't have speed on board. The two Canadians, Taylor Austin, Pat Norton, fastest in the lower part of the track, and across the line, 3/10 back, he drops into second place. So Taylor Austin will be no worse than 9th place now, as he leads with our final 8 sleds to come. My maths isn't that great, really, is it? So Timo Rona will get a top 10 finish.
And that just goes to show how tidy that one was from Taylor. Yeah, nice job through the chicane though. It's still a pretty decent run, just not enough speed to try and catch up to the.
Yeah, his 3rd run, heat 3, that was a really neat run. And they're just a little looser. He only had 1300s over Taylor Austin coming into the heat anyway, so it was always going to be a tough one. Next up, Kim Jin-soo of Korea, with Kim Sun-wook, Kim Kyung-yoon and Lee Kyung-yu on the sled. These guys have been starting well. 5:05, 5:05 today, 5:01 yesterday. And Kim coming off a debut season in the World Cup as a driver, having had a really, really strong year. Top 6 competitor everywhere.
Yeah, he's a pretty quiet guy, says a few words.
Yeah, lets his driving do the talking. He was 6th overnight, a 3-way tie for 6th position. And then slipped just a few hundreds back. 1/4 of a second up on Taylor Austin now.
Yeah, this is a solid looking run from Kim. We'll put the uphill section and see what he can do.
It's down to 1400s, down to 600ths of a second. Taylor Austin might be in the leader's box again. He is in the leader's box again, 55.96. Wow. Talk about the run that made the difference for Taylor Austin. 11th after heat 3, he leads with 7 to go. He's picked off Patrick Baumgartner, Timo Rona and Kim Jin-soo. Osiris, they're probably not going to be in leader's box when we finish the broadcast, but they'll be hanging around looking pretty happy with that, I think.
That was a pretty solid run, so, I mean, the farther up they can move, the better, right?
Yeah.
So.
And Kim, well, it's been a good end to a good season for him. Top 10 guaranteed in the World Championships. Some really excellent outings this year. Next up, 7th into the final heat. Mickey Vogt of Switzerland with Greg Jones, Dominic Huschmidt and Amadou David Mbaye at the back. Greg Jones already starting his driving career as well. He's just too good an athlete not to have in the push crew when it comes to the big days. 5:13 getaway. So they started 18, 19 and 13. They know the pressure is on as well.
Yeah, this is about top, nice top section from Michael Wolf.
He was 38 up on Pat Norton, Taylor Austin rather, after heat 3, remains 3,800s up. His eyes are on trying to move into the top 6 or potentially 5 positions. 7th best speed. Flirts with the wall.
A little sideways a little bit.
Yeah.
Into 17.
4th best speed, still 3/10 up. So Taylor Austin of Canada, the crew's time in the leader box is over. And Mickey Vogt of Switzerland's moved in. But the Canadians will know they will be no worse than 8th place. It's a really good reward for their final day of action. And the crew will be happy there. 13, you heard from the coach, a 13 start after an 18 and a 19. That's what they wanted.
That's right.
Not the fastest of the field, but upping their game for their driver. And Mickey, after another summer of recuperation and training, will come back fast. They'll be down in the zeros next year. 6 to go, and the first of 2 US sleds now. Chris Horn and Frank Del Duca follow in quick succession. So Chris Horn with Carsten Bissering, Martin Kristoffersen and Hunter Powell. 6th fastest in both heats, off a 5:04 and a 5:05 start.
Yeah, these guys have been having real great starts and real great drive from Chris Horn.
Yeah. 5 dead. Fastest start so far in the heat. That's impressive. Who went under 5 in the first heat? Only 1 sled, and that was Francesco Friedrich, the leader.
Yeah, a little late into 4th, but seems to get it back on track.
Giving away a little bit of velocity. Only the 7th best speed off the fastest start. Caps coming down over Mickey Vogt. It was 1300s at the end of heat 3, down to 700s. Vogt was quicker in the chicane. Is Chris Horn going to hang on?
His lead.
This is top 6.
Back.
300s back. If he gets a good run up to the line, it might still come back to him. It doesn't. Mickey Vogt is top 6 in the World Championships. Chris Horn will be no worse than 7th. 2nd with 5 to go.
I think Chris Horn gets the MVP for the World Championships, especially from the 2 men to the 4 men.
Yeah.
He drove pretty well to try and get into top 10.
Really did. Really did. Crashed in the first heat when he was 5th fastest and drove back in the remaining 3 heats to finish in the top 10. And an astonishing set of quick runs. And again here, some really good runs from Chris Horn and the crew, and a 5 dead start.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid start, especially on Lake Placid.
It really is. All right. USA will lead after this sled. No, they may not actually, because it's Mickey Vogt who's in the leaders box, of course. So Frank Del Duca with Josh Williamson, Boone Niederhofer and Chuck Volker in the centre at the back. 5:04, 5:02. Good hit, nice sync from the boys. Is this into the 4s?
Nice quick load.
5 dead, they match their teammates. And good velocity as well. Best velocity and a neat 1, 2 and 3 from Frank Del Duca. That's how you keep the speed on board.
Yeah, Frankie knows everything's on the line to try and get on the podium for home world. So
top speed. This is a good looking run so far from Del Duca. Tiniest of skids. 7,600s up.
lost a little bit of time going into 17, but that's still a lot of time to work with.
Not the best chicane. Now, that's going to put pressure on Adam Amour, the next sled down for 4th place. Del Duca across the line with a 55.55.
Coaches having fun.
They are having fun, and so are the crowd, responding well to Chris Horn and Frank Del Duca. They may not end up in the medals here, but they are absolutely flying. And Adam Amour of Germany, just 11 hundredths ahead of Frank Del Duca. One little tap in the chicane.
But yeah, that was a pretty solid run from Frank.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was the drive he was wanting on his home track.
Yeah. All right, so Adam Amour with Nick Stadelman, his older brother Issam Amour, and Rupert Schenk. This is the crew, the 3rd of our German sleds, currently in 4th place, but a slender advantage, 5:02. They lose a little bit of that advantage, only 9 hundredths up now. Takes a little square tap out of 3, down to 4.
Yeah, gonna have to be pretty clean here to keep up with the American.
Out of cliffside into Whiteface and down into the highway. Steadying the ship. 2nd best speed.
Nice 11-12.
Yeah, little skid, same as Del Duca. 1, 2, 3 hits in the chicane, 1100th up, but the speed is going away. Only the 10th best speed. Has he got enough to hang on? 800ths up.
It's a big uphill section, see?
Little tap coming into it, across the line, behind! Del Duca moves up! 600ths back, they overturned it by nearly 0.2 of a second. 55.55 for Frank Del Duca. 55.72 for Adam Amour. 1,700 slower than the American on that run, enough to cost them a spot. We can't underestimate.
Just a couple taps going into 17.
Yeah, can't underestimate Amour, last year's bronze medalist in the 4-man worlds. And he's not going to be on the podium now unless something bizarre happens. Frank Del Duca leads, 3 to go. Next up, Brad Hall for Great Britain with Aaron Gulliver, Taylor Lawrence and Greg Cackett in the sled. Lots of support at the top and at the bottom. And the battle now for the medals. They were 200ths behind Johannes Lochner overnight, 200ths behind Johannes Lochner now. They both started 5:02. They both came down in a 55:03. This is Brad's chance to grab a silver medal. The silver medalist in 2023, a 5-dead start, their best of the competition. Little late flop out of 2.
Yeah, Brad knows what's on the line, so
yeah,
he's going to lay everything down for sure.
He's had 3 really good runs. Best speed of all, half a second up on Del Duca. It's not about what's behind, it's about what's to come. Best speed again. His Valna sled is flying here in Lake Placid.
Yeah, this is a solid looking run from Brad.
It is going to have to be really good to beat the Germans.
Nice and clean through the chicane.
1:32.10. Fantastic speed from Brad Hall. He's in the medals.
Lots of time to work with going in the uphill section.
Yeah, 6,500ths. And the gap at the line is 64.55.43. All right. That's good enough for the medals. Is it enough to move ahead of Johannes Lochner? We'll find out in 2 minutes. Well, there's friends and family. Just a little rocky 2 and 3. Lochner's not been clean there. Friedrich's not been clean there either.
Yeah, that's a good exit. A little bit early into 11. But no problem for Brad.
Drives the chicane beautifully to keep the speed on board. 2 to go. The World Championship medals will be decided here. Johannes Lochner, Florian Bauer, Jörn Wenzel and Georg Fleischhauer. Second fastest starts, second fastest runs in Heat 1 and in Heat 3. His lead is now 200ths of a second, but if they don't start 5 flat, it disappears. 4.96, they find another little 100th or 2. They're now 600ths up.
Yeah, that's a solid start.
Just 400ths of the all-time track record. 500ths, the gaps come down, the speed's not as good as Brad Hall. It's another untidy run from Lochner. 400ths, now he's finding speed. The FES sleds absolutely fly.
Yeah, especially at the bottom of this track. If he can keep the chicane clean, I think he's going to pick up some time for sure.
1300ths up. Driving away from Great Britain, this is going to be at least the silver medal for Johannes Lochner. Much tidier than Heat 2 and Heat 3. He makes clear air between himself and the Brits. 55.25, the leader with 1 to go. We had a shocker in Heat 2 that was then cancelled. Right from the start, it didn't look clean. And now he's in the silver medal position, leading with 1 to go. 2017 four-man world champion Johannes Lochner.
Yeah, ran that nice and deep, tidy load, straight through the chicane.
They gave him the speed when he needed it. They had a 4.96 in the first heat. They found another one from the start. Final sled of the competitive season. Last run of the four-man worlds for Francesco Friedrich, Matthias Sommer, Alexander Schuller and Felix Straub. These boys have been leading from the start. First off at the start in Heat 1, they have led every inch of the way. 4.96, they do not get the start record. That remains for another season in the hands of Andre Lange and his crew. Friedrich rattling the walls early on.
Yeah, at this point, he's pretty much going for a victory lap.
Yeah.
But Lake Placid, though, you never know.
Still got to drive it. And it seems that the looser he gets, the faster the sled flies.
Yeah.
He's just easing it along, not arguing with it.
Yeah, much better chicane. Just picking up speed, picking up time.
Well, it was 5400ths ahead of Lochner. That's down to 45, down to 38. It's not the tidiest run, but maybe in his mind he knew it didn't have to be. Across the line, 55.51. It is gold for Friedrich, silver for Lochner, and bronze for Hall. Frank Del Duca fourth, ahead of Adam Moore and Mickey Vogt.
Yeah, I'm sure it never gets old for him winning a World Championship medal.
He loves big days. He loves tight competition. And he responds, as true athletes do, by finding something extra special. Nine times a two-man world champion, 7 times now a four-man world champion, and a 4-time Olympic champion in two-man and four-man. Francesco Friedrich wins the 2025 World Championships in Lake Placid, dominating the season, more wins than anybody else, and dominating the World Championships. He loves a driver's track, and this is a driver's track. So confirmation of the result. Gold for Friedrich, silver for Lochner, bronze for Hall. Frank Del Duca 600ths ahead of Adam Moore for 4th place. Mickey Vogt 6th ahead of Chris Horn. Taylor Austin up to 8th. And then Kim Jin-soo and Timo Rona round out the top 10. Baumgartner, Sun, Bindilati, Folidor, Callender and Norton in the top 15. And there you go, Jeff Galbois also moved up a couple of spots, or 1 spot. But there is your leader. He didn't have to move up from Heat 1 to the end of the competition. Francesco Friedrich with Matthias Sommer, tall figure of Alex Schuller, and Felix Straub. That's your gold medal winning crew. Oh, it's like being a sprinter and having Usain Bolt in the field. When Friedrich is on form, anything other than injured, and even sometimes when he is, he's the man you have to beat. Yeah.
He's been doing it for a while.
Yes, he has.
He knows how to win.
Yes, he has. And is this the last World Championships we'll ever see him compete at? If it is, he goes out on a high, heading into the Olympics as the world champion. But if it isn't, well, who knows? He did say after Beijing 4 more years, but when you're winning, I don't know.
Keep going till your body says.
It's hard to leave at the top.
That's right.
It's really hard to leave at the top when you still feel there's more. And the same for Johannes Lochner. You know, in theory, could be his last games. But if he's still competing, he still wants double Olympic gold. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, been saying for 3 or 4 years, it's probably their last go around. But is it? We don't know.
Don't know until the following season after the Olympics.
It ain't over till it's over. I don't even hear the fat lady warming up yet, so we can never tell. Well, there you go. 4-man World Championships completed. And that is it for the men. The women's race this afternoon. And that will start at 1300 local, which is 1700 GMT. Until then, on behalf of Cyrus Gray and the whole IBSF TV crew here in Lake Placid, thank you for joining us for the 4-man Worlds. Saying bye for now. We'll see you for the women to round out 2 weeks of action in the Adirondacks.